An alternative way to look at the law of attraction. Most people who talk about the law of attraction think of it only as a spiritual phenomenon. For instance, Bob Proctor's claim that we're just a spiritual being having a physical experience. However, I came across the law through Napoleon Hill and existential phenomenology. So I'm going to offer an alternative way to consider the law of attraction that is more similar to Hill's cosmic habit force and will, I hope, be immensely helpful for your study of the law, and more importantly in your own life. First, though, a caveat. I'm on the fence about this question, but I think the explanation I offer here not only explains the phenomenon well, but offers a very valid reason for when it fails that doesn't seat all of the blame on the human agent. I suggest that you consider it either way that makes you feel best. However, if nothing else, this will give you a way to discuss law of attraction with naturalists. So, what do I mean by an alternative way to look at the law? Well, in a nutshell, I'm suggesting that the way that you live your life itself, for instance your beliefs, thoughts, and actions together as a whole, cause you to receive, which is to say attract, the results that you get. The way you live causes people to react to you as they do. And the things you think about and believe are the things you look for and find in your experience. It's kind of like Google. You get what you search for, more or less. Likewise, if you pay attention to the experience of rude, awful people, you'll see something. They often have rude, awful experiences that justify their behavior for them, and that only arise because they were rude or awful in the first place, but they don't understand this. And the vast majority of people respond to them in a rude and awful way, in the most obvious way, because people don't like being treated with disrespect, but also because people often reflect how you act toward them right back to you. Though, not always on purpose, of course, and not always. Sometimes people just act how they act. But, for the most part, rude people get the way that they act right back to them. People respond to them rudely. And so sometimes, rude people get ahead through this tactic of being awful. But they only are able to do this because the other people around them either ignore their rude behavior or they bow to their rude behavior. The latter is usually out of a desire that feels necessary, something like to keep their job, which is a desire that has a belief. Must be nice to keep job, which is a feeling, I need this job, and an action or set of actions, which is to say being a good employee. So wait, what does this mean? If you consider what I've said, then you can see that the law of attraction is working itself out perfectly all around you in every moment. In every moment what you're believing and feeling, you're manifesting by living it. Does it sometimes backfire? Sure. Do you sometimes not get what you want? Yes. Are you sometimes wrong? Definitely. For instance, imagine a hapless, obese man in his 30s at a club trying to find a beautiful young girlfriend. Most of the things he does will expose his haplessness, including how he dresses, how he approaches women, what he says, his goals, etc. May he happen upon what he's looking for? Sure. He probably will. Will he get it? Probably not. And as the night wears on and his confidence goes down and down, it'll get harder and harder and harder for him to get his goal. But doesn't this reading make the law of attraction meaningless? No, not at all. It's still intensely helpful whether or not you think of it as a spiritual phenomenon. I've experimented with both ways of looking at it in my life and found the secular position to be superior because it drives me to take an active role in my creation. In other words, I get way more done. But the spiritual position is also helpful. The only difference is whether or not you really believe the universe is literally aligning itself for you, and whether or not you believe that the universe itself is inherently connected. If you don't believe that the universe is inherently connected, and you believe that you're a single individual agent living out their life inside of a massive world that you're only a part of by being inside of, then the spiritual reading of this probably won't work out very well for you, but the reading that I just laid out would. And this difference is really similar to the difference between Kierkegaard and Nietzsche in existentialism. Kierkegaard argues that God himself can bend the laws of the universe and morality, whereas Nietzsche argues that man has the ability to do this, and as such we should. So both approaches are philosophical and involve the same action steps like doing the exercises, thinking and feeling better, and aligning your beliefs and emotions. So, for the most part, whether you look at the law of attraction as a secular phenomenon or a spiritual phenomenon, it's the same. The only difference is on the reading of it, and on the way that you look at it as actually manifesting itself in reality. So, I believe that this phenomenon arises because how you think and feel about something is itself the semantic ground for the faith in and determination about something. And if you believe you can do something you're determined to do, you're a nearly unstoppable force. So what am I suggesting? Use the law of attraction as an opportunity to align your desires, emotions, beliefs, and actions, just like the regular law of attraction. I'm simply suggesting you ignore the idea that it then must come into being only because of universal alignment. I'm suggesting it comes into being because of existential alignment. In other words, because you've aligned desire, feeling, thought, and action, you've got the traits needed to succeed no matter what. Faith, determination, self-confidence, etc. And this is what you need to do to really live the life you want. And if you're standing in your own way, it's probably because you lack development in one of the pillars. The first one being will, having a burning passion for your desire. 2, believing you can accomplish your desire. 3, feeling like you can accomplish your desire. And 4, acting as if you feel and believe you can accomplish your desire. And this only makes sense. People doing things well feel and believe they can accomplish what they're doing. And people that fail very often don't feel or believe that they can accomplish what they're doing. So choose to feel and believe that you can have your desires and see what starts to happen for you in your life.